in the first few months, they gained 20 pounds. It's called Google 20.
Oh, no.
You know why? Because Google serves you free food. 3 meals a day if you want to. Of course, they don't tell you to. But if you want to eat 3 meals, and wonderful meals, including steak, including Indian food, any food. I mean, in London, they serve you different things. In America, they serve you different things. But 3 meals you can eat there.
I sure hope they have a gym on that campus as well.
Yes, they have a gym too. In fact, they also give you free laundry. I mean, they want you to spend as much time as you can spend on the campus. But of course, in the official brochures, they say family life is very important, and you must make sure you go to your wife. But at the same time, is a good work canteen will do more for your employees than merely relieve their hunger. What it is it a good idea to actually have that? You know, we in our office, you know, many times we have lunch come out, and I have seen certain offices where they have every Friday the lunch is on the office, you know, come and sit down, talk about it, because they really feel that if there's a social atmosphere, then you can talk about your work and you can exchange information, and it's sort of good for everybody, particularly for the company, to have the people, instead of taking 1 hour for lunch going out, they can do their business in 30 minutes and give you extra 30 minutes.
Yeah, I think it really helps build community, too, in the office among people. So, yeah, great. I don't know about the weight gain, if that's good for you, but certainly it seems like for work productivity, it's a good thing.
That's right. But, you know, down the road, they improve upon their diet because, let's face it, 20 pounds in a couple months, you know you got to lose weight.
Well, of course, in all the hubbub over Michael Jackson's doctor's prosecution, we've been thinking more about painkillers and how they're used or abused by people in this country. I was pretty shocked by this BBC story citing a new study from the Centers for the Disease Control and Prevention. Did you know that overdoses of pain relievers cause more deaths than heroin and cocaine combined?
Wow.
In fact, fatalities caused by narcotic pain relievers have more than tripled in the last 10 years in the U.S.
Yeah, I hear that.
I mean, it's become an epidemic in this country, and a lot of times people start a prescription for one reason and then they continue to abuse it. Or there are clinics that prescribe the drugs inappropriately. There are people who go doctor shopping, right? They get multiple prescriptions from different doctors, so no one is really tracking the complete total of what this person or what this individual is taking. And they may very well be abusing that medication and doing harm to themselves, and obviously it can cause death as well. In 2008, almost 15,000 deaths were caused by prescription painkillers, including the death of actor Heath Ledger. You know, that made headlines around the world.
You know, actually, in the industry, we have what we call workman's compensation. And the biggest claim, folks, about workman's compensation is pain. Because no one can see the pain. You know, you can't see it, but only the veteran knows where it hurts.
Right.
And particularly the back injuries that they talk about, they're just huge in workman's compensation.
Well, in fact, the report says that enough medicine was prescribed last year to keep every American adult medicated for 1 month.
That is huge. Folks, Italy's having a problem. The Prime Minister for 18 years, Mr. Berlusconi, is going to have to be asked to resign. Now, by the time this airs, maybe he might have resigned. At the same token, Italy does not only have a problem of deficit, they also have a Chinese problem. Did you know that in a region called Prato, 25% of the population is Chinese, and most of them are illegal?
What are they doing? What work are they doing in Italy?
In Italy, what they're doing is building what they call fast fashion. Because Chinese are very fast workers comparing to Italian. Italian do fashion clothing, and Chinese do fast fashion clothing. Of course, the big ones, the big houses, they go to China and have it made there. But the small houses that cannot afford to go to China, well, they get their Chinese fix right there in Italy. They got more sweatshops than even New York had. They have so many people working, and the town is not very happy. You know, with these new immigrants, they don't mingle with the regular folks, and they live separately, and their living quarters are not fun because most of them live where they work. You know, they'll go to a warehouse, and you can find numbers of sewing machines, fantastic fabrics, which is what they're building, and then they live on the side with 4-foot roofs. You know, in India, there used to be huts. You go down and you cook on the floor. Well, that's what they're doing, and living like that, they're saving money. They're saving money so that they can go back to China. They don't like living in Italy either. You know, one of the most difficult things is the Italian police goes and busts these places.
And deports them, right?
They cannot deport them because the Chinese embassy says these people don't have any papers, so they cannot be Chinese. So we're not going to take them back. So what do Italian people do? They can't deport them. So, and they have no space in the jail, so they give them citations. And next day they go back to work, you know. So it never changes. And again, you know, corruption is also in Italy, so I'm sure that's part of it. But people are very unhappy in Italy. And of course, right now, everybody's unhappy because the bonds in Italy, their yield is getting higher and higher. And when it gets higher and higher, Italy cannot borrow enough money for their running of the government, and that can be a problem.
Wow, I had no idea what a big issue this was.
Yeah.
Check out this headline in BBC Magazine. How can adults endure living with their parents? They make it sound like it was the worst thing in the world. Well, this story is particularly about the growing number of young adults living with their parents in the United States. In 2011, 19% of men aged 25 to 34 shacked up with mom and dad, up from 14% in 2005. And this is all based on census data. Interestingly, for women, the number is 10%, up from 8%. So there are a lot more guys living at home with their parents than there are young women. And the article goes on to talk about tips for these families who probably are feeling this kind of awkward relationship at home with adult kids living with their parents. One of the suggestions, work long hours.
Yes.
Okay, so you kind of basically avoid each other. Another one is insist on boundaries. There was an example here of a young man who said that he would be in the bathroom and his mom would be talking to him while he's in the bathroom and really kind of breaking a boundary. Like he's not 8 years old anymore. In dating situations, be honest and confident about your living situation. What they suggest is for the young person, the young adult, not to kind of feel ashamed that they live with their parents, but to state that kind of matter-of-factly. And keep your eyes on the prize and remember why you are there. And the example there was of a young man who was like, well, I'm saving money, and one day I'm not going to live here anymore, and I'm going to